All right, it's 5:30 and time to call to order the regular board meeting of the Madison Central School District on this Monday, February 12th, 2018. Mr. Brooks will record the members present or absent. We do have all members present, thus we have a quorum. Next, I'd invite everyone to please stand and we'll participate in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item is approval of the agenda. I do not believe we have any changes or corrections to the agenda, so at this time I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Okay, Mrs. Sims has the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Schultz. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Declare that the motion has passed. Next is the approval of our consent items from, which include the minutes of our January 8th meeting, also approval of the bills. Mrs. Sims, Mrs. Cecil, and Mr. Nelson took advantage of looking through our bills. Any comments, questions there? Mrs. Cecil still looking?
I'm on S.
Oh. Any questions or concerns there that we had?
I did not.
Okay. That moves us on to number 9 then, personnel actions. Mr. Jorgensen.
As you see, we have had a couple of resignations. Mr. Fritz is high school ag, CTE, and FFA advisor, and also Mrs. Fritz at the elementary. They will be moving to Minnesota. He's going to be joining his father in their business, so that'll be expected for the end of the year. And then some playground aides, Grace Bauer, Bailey Stephenson, and Haley Goixon, $9 per hour. And then we do have a contract change, Casey Medrisi from BA 30 at $43,180 to MA at $44,510.
Okay, so the recommendation is approval of those personnel actions by the administration. So is there a motion to act upon our consent items? So moved by Mrs. Cecil to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hanemichael. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Declare that our consent items have been taken care of. Anyone wish to address the board? Come on down, Dawn. Oh, she's got her note card now.
Yeah, I do. You guys probably already know, but next week is School Board Appreciation or Recognition Week, and the Madison Education Association would like to thank each one of you for your dedicated time and commitment to enhancing public education here at Madison Central. So thank you very much for the time that you put in and the commitment that you have for our school district. Appreciate it.
Thank you, staff, for that also. Thank you. All right. On to administrators' report.
I'll just touch base. I want to make sure we congratulate the gymnastics team and coaches on the performance at the state meet. And not only at the meet, but all year long. They represented Madison Central with a lot of class. So congratulations to the gymnasts and to the coaches as well. Talent Ed, we've moved to an online application process. I think the principals would be the first ones to say they really like the new application process. And the number of applicants that it's generated is quite different from what we've had in the past when we didn't have this in place. So a lot of thanks to Mr. Millage and Mrs. Johnson. You know, they tried to have this to be a 30 to 60 day time frame to get this up and running, and I think we did it in,
It was like a couple weeks.
I'll say 2 weeks, but I'm not sure we even gave them that much time. So they put a lot of work into it. A little nervous when they sent the test button, but it went good. Everything bounced back the way it was supposed to, so it's really working well. So we look forward to being able to use that moving forward. And interestingly enough, when I look at the old ASBSD site and to show you how many people have looked at it, we've actually got more applications in some areas than have actually even been looked at the ASBSD website. So that's really, doesn't correlate, but that's good. Legislative session is full swing. We had the Cracker Barrel here on Saturday. A lot of different items were talked about. House Bill 1120 was one of them that was defeated on the floor today, 28 to 38. There are a number of education bills out there and a few funding bills. Too many to mention right now, but important dates coming up are the 23rd is crossover day when they've got to go from one house to the other. Keep moving, and then of course March 9th is the final day of session, and the veto day is the 26th of March. We're taking a tour of the middle school tonight. We won't do the elementary next month because of parent-teacher conferences, but we'll plan on touring the elementary then in April. And for my last item, I need Dr. Cook's help. If I could have him come up here. I received notice about a little over a week ago from the South Dakota Association of Secondary School Principals, and I'll read it. Superintendent Board of Education, we are pleased to announce that your school district's middle school principal, Cotton Cook, received the award Middle School Principal of the Year by the South Dakota. As Cotton was nominated by his peers in his region for his honor because of his leadership, which is evident not only in your district but throughout his region and across the state. Cotton will receive his formal award during the awards banquet held at the State Principals Conference on Thursday, April 5th, 2018 at the Lodge at Deadwood in Deadwood, South Dakota. So, congratulations, Dr. Cook. I had to keep it a secret for a week.
I don't sit down, Dr. Cook. All honors
Wow, thank you.
require action, so you have to serve everyone cupcakes. I did some baking this afternoon.
Well, thank you. That's all right. I know Brooksy wants one. What day?
Just in your honor, otherwise I won't. Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you.
So very nice honor.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
I've known for a few days and it's been hard to.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Well, thank you for letting me work at this place because
Congratulations, Doctor.
it's, that award has zero to do with me. It has to do with all those fantastic staff that are over there, and of course the families and students who are just amazing. All of you guys that have kids come through here, and I've taught some of you. It's just such an awesome thing. I just love this town and I love this community, and wow, I'm floored. Thank you so much.
Come on.
It's a great night to be here.
Yeah. Steve-O?
Thanks, God. Congratulations.
Well,
That doesn't make everything.
thank you. Awesome.
All right. Now we have to continue with administrators' reports. Dr. Cook, anything other than your written report?
No. Thank you for just letting me be here.
I did notice that Mr. Nelson, Board Member Nelson, is supposed to wear his farmer hat, though.
Yeah, I wonder if he, I'm hoping he would have that on today.
It is everyday hat, farmer hat. I did see that I made the report.
We're testing you, Steve.
I figured so much, I was excited.
We're testing you. Mr. Brooks, do you have anything from the administrator side? Okay. Just a couple things from ASBSD. Next Tuesday is Legislative Day in Pierre. If you have an interest to come on out, we have our board meeting on Monday, the holiday, and then Tuesday at noon will be a luncheon with the, hopefully I've invited our 3 representatives of the of District 8 to lunch with us. Not sure whether they will attend or not. I've heard from Senator Youngberg, and he has indicated he will attend. Have not heard yet from our 2 House folks. It's a good opportunity to come out and learn. In the morning, if you get there early enough, we'll attend some committee meetings, and then we have a lunch, and it's all at the Ramcoda. If you're interested in attending, maybe let me know. I have to turn numbers in probably by the end of the day on Wednesday, so on that. Back from DC, I went out as a part of our executive board and had a chance to meet with our congressional delegation out there, and it was interesting. Of course, there was no budget that had been passed yet when we were there, and they had to get that completed, but an interesting time out in DC, I'll leave it at that, so. All right, number 12 then, Mr. Jorgensen, is that you?
Yeah, I get to handle all kinds of stuff tonight. It's sort of fun. In recognition of dedicated leadership in public education and for improving achievement for all public school students, the Associated School Boards of South Dakota honors the Madison Central School District, South Dakota School Board Recognition Week, which is the 19th through the 23rd. So I'd like to give you all the certificate, and it's not a plane ticket to the somewhere warm, but it is a school lunch ticket. How's that? Thank you. Michael?
Well, that's a nice touch.
Thank you.
Just present that for your. Cashier.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is this the whole sandwich lunch? Well, depends on what day you fit. If I get those ones, but is it breakfast included?
It's peanut butter lunch.
Just gotta let them know we're going to the elementary.
That's, I'll give this to signatures.
But thank you.
Well, it's at the elementary.
Well, thank you very much.
Can we just credit to my account?
Nope, next try. There's always one.
I think that defeats the purpose of defeats the purpose. All right, on to item number 13 then, which is approval of the start date and the district calendar for the 2018-2019 school year.
And basically, this is a clone of last year, or excuse me, of our current year. The one minor change that's on there, if you'll notice on December 21st, since of when our break takes place, we are looking at an early out for students on that day. Staff would be here then to finish that day out, but that's the only change from what we talked about a while back. So, otherwise, it literally is a clone of this year's calendar.
Some of the staff had questions. In November, the 21st is crossed off as no school, but then over to the right, it said November 22nd to the 23rd.
It's the 21st.
It's the
It'll just have to
21st?
be corrected, yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
go by what's marked out and we'll get that changed, so
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Motion to approve the start date and district calendar. So moved by Mr. Miller. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Nelson. Further questions or discussion? I think it's good to have this done, and we know where we're at. I think we have a model that seems to be working for everybody, so that's good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the start date and district calendar signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Declare that that has passed. Item number 14, accept the Quam and Berglund 2016-17 audit report. I think that's you, Mr. Brooks.
We got our report back from our auditor, in the completed stages. If you, not that you have to go through it all, but if you look at page 18 in there, this is the page I think 99% of the time people will go to. 16, 17, 18 are all one report, but at the bottom of page 18 it shows where our beginning fund balance was, where our ending fund balance was, and our net changes. If you go into the prior two pages, the 16 and 17, you can see all the revenues, all the expenditures. And there's, you can see right down the bottom, that's kind of the part that everybody wants to know, what's the sum of the how the year finished. And those are the ones they use for calculating our fund balances and that. And then the rest of the report is a lot of GASB statements, government accounting standards board. You kind of look through there and see our fixed assets, and then once the board approves this, it's then posted on our website under our minutes and audits in there. We did have the same finding we've had in prior years of segregation of duties, and that's just has to do with the amount of staff we have that oversee things. We don't have as many, I guess, as they would like to see. But that is a good audit process. Any questions anybody had on that?
My only question, Mitch, was
Yeah.
around the internal control. I know
Okay.
I get
Yeah.
it. But it just has stated in there when you guys addressed it that you would implement some practices that would address that, or it's, I can't
You know,
remember
with
the
some
technical
of that
term.
has to do with Howard deposits, the person who turns in the money has an account, we have an account in the office, that person deposits it, they're all separate, because it's on the revenue side, so make sure that those are separate. They would still like to see more layers, but by keeping those separate, we're at least meeting our criteria, and then having bank statements and stuff reviewed by outside. That's the other side to it, so it's not necessarily to the level, but we are having things in place that help reduce risk.
Probably all but the largest of the school districts in South Dakota have that same finding that we have there, so. All right, entertain a motion then to accept the Quam and Berglund audit report.
So moved.
Okay, by Mrs. Schultz, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hanamichael. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the audit report signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Declare that that has passed. Item number 15 then, consider renewal of agreement with after-school care program, RE, the summer program.
So the summer program just came forward again for use of our elementary facility. Pretty much the same rooms, same times. They did add a week to it because of the way the calendar fell with starting midweek, ending midweek, so we took it to the Friday. The rate on it, we went 15 cents per student per session, so it's $5.60 per student per session. And then we do charge an hourly rate for the bus driver, and then a mileage rate for the buses when they use those for field trips and that. So we had that wrapped up. So that's, our recommendation is to, they submitted a request to approve that request.
So we have a recommendation from the administration for renewal of the agreement for that after-school care program, the summer program at this point.
Move to approve.
Mr. Nelson moves to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of renewal of the agreement with the after-school summer program signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Declare that that has passed. Number 16, approval to seek proposals for district-wide multi-function copying machines.
So our current agreement is expiring in June of this year, so this is to seek the next, we kind of debate between a 3 to 5 year process, we kind of settle on the floor, seems like we get a good price for the machines. And then we don't have them also struggle with them when they get kind of past their useful life. So we're seeking a 4-year proposals. There's quite a few companies that will bid on this. With your approval, then we can start this process by getting proposals from them.
Okay. So again, recommendation would be that we approve this request for proposals, which then in essence will open it up for those bids to come in, and those considerations will be taken care of at our April 9th meeting then. So we need action to approve for those proposals to be sent out.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Hanamichael. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Sims. Further questions or discussion?
How much is left on the printers then, Mitch?
They fall, we have a year and a half, or they November.
Yeah, I was gonna say a year or two, yep.
So we have a different cycle for the printers than we do the copiers.
Okay.
Do we lease?
We do, yeah.
Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the proposals for the multifunction copy machine signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Declare the motion is passed. Item number 17, consider approval to seek proposals for the food service management.
And then this is a similar, this is our 5th and final year that we're allowed to continue on with our contracting company. So then we go out every 5 years to seek proposals from competing companies to provide our services into the ongoing years. And so then this will start that process. We put it in now, the state isn't quite finished with the RFP template. Hopefully it'll be done this week and then we can get this moving and rolling.
So we're actually doing is seeking approval from the board when that template is ready to be able to send that out, and so we can seek our bids and
Advertise it and
And
Bring the proposals back, yeah.
then there'll be a committee that'll be formed that will take care of looking at that. So again, it does require board approval to submit those proposals. We need a motion to have that occur.
So moved.
Okay, Mrs. Schultz, is there a second? Second by Mrs. Sims. Further questions or discussion on that? Something that we'll be working on and having come forward. All right, no further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Number 18, consider E-rate purchasing proposal.
So what we have with E-rate, there's funds available to us from the federal government through a E-rate program for certain types of things. So what we were able to get qualified for is kind of some rack equipment, some fiber backbone, PoE switches, connectors, and UPSs. So it's more on the back end side of our network. Then
You're doing great, yeah, let me know.
with this proposal, we can qualify. These two proposals came in right around the 40,000. The low one was MarcoNet. When we would, if we accept the proposal, the E-rate will then cover between 40 to 60%. Last time it covered 60% of this amount. So when we seek your approval, approval to proceed with this, we'd continue on through the E-rate process, and if they then approve all of this, we would get that 60% match, and then we could purchase a lot of really nice backbone materials. The UPS would help us, our critical systems last longer in power outages and things like that. And then the fiber backbone would be really nice. Between the buildings, that'd be nice.
And also help with the phone system at the time of power outages, too, with that added UPS that we do get.
And this really does a lot of work with this. There's quite a bit going back and forth, just getting this laid out, and E-rate's a difficult process. He's done a really nice job of.
Still got hair.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Give it time.
whoa. Better change that grade, Steve. All right, so again, we need to, they're seeking approval. Recommendation would be to approve the E-rate purchasing, which allows us to pick up federal dollars to help us with infrastructure or the backbone types of things that we need, so. So moved by Mr. Miller.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hanamichael. Further discussion?
Just a quick note on the top, it says funding year 2017, but then also says funding year 2018.
They're-
Is that,
Yeah, for them, it's their 17 wave, but they'll be in our 17, or our 18-19 school year.
okay. So they're basing this off of last year, but it's for next, is that what you're saying?
They have a little bit different cycle than we do for
Okay.
school year. For them, it's funding year 17, for us, it's 18.
Okay,
But,
so for us, it's 20.
yeah.
Okay, good catch there, Tammy. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the E-rate purchasing proposal, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Declare that as passed. Dr. Cook?
Yes.
We are yours.
Okay.
Mr. Principal of the Year.
Thank you.
Everybody still
Um,
fucked up.
Yeah. See if I get my head through it over here. Just real quick, I want to introduce